Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world. Its capital city, Jakarta, and the surrounding metropolitan area alone is home to 34 million people. After generations of colonial rule and economic exploitation, Indonesia became independent in 1945 and has since grown into a major player and political leader in Southeast Asia. While there has been much economic growth in Indonesia, many people still look abroad for better employment opportunities and higher salaries which can be used to support their family back home. The World Bank calculates that 9 million Indonesians work overseas. In 2018, migrant Indonesian workers sent over $111.2 billion back to Indonesia in remittances, and this number only continues to rise. And the opportunity to work abroad has more than just positive economic impacts on people's lives. About 56% of current migrant workers were previously unemployed before migrating. And even if they did have a job before migrating, their foreign salary can often be 4 to 6 times greater than the salary they could get in Indonesia. Many of these migrant workers were low-skilled workers before moving abroad. While overseas, they acquire new skills and experience while working and can often find good jobs on their return to their home country. Remittances from Indonesian migrant workers also make an important contribution to poverty reduction in Indonesia. And these remittances also have long-term benefits. About 40% of migrant households channel their income from remittances into education. 15% invest that income into business capital, and more than 20% report putting that money into savings accounts. However, those who do move away from their home culture and family and friends often pay a heavy cost for those benefits. Migrant workers face numerous risks, including physical and sexual abuse and violence, economic exploitation, and even denial of basic freedoms. Only about 1/3 of Indonesian migrant workers sign a contract of employment prior to their departure. More than half of migrant workers won't know their salary until they arrive at their destination country, and 25 to 30% of migrant workers do not have all the proper immigration paperwork, which puts them at even higher risk of being taken advantage of, as they can be threatened by their employers with deportation. After coming face to face with some of these situations, Nathan and Laura Conklin have started Jiwa International. Jiwa's purpose is to identify and meet the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of vulnerable migrant workers around the world. After almost a decade of experience in both Taiwan and Indonesia, they are moving to southern Taiwan to partner with Taiwanese and Indonesian staff to come alongside the migrant worker population in Yunlin and Jiai counties. Jiwa's focus is care for these migrant workers. We create community through social media groups that provide daily encouragement for migrant workers in their own language. When these workers have time off, we pursue creating meaningful and encouraging relationships. We advocate to local leaders about the abuses many migrant workers experience, and we advocate also to the workers' employers for better treatment. We also resource migrant workers with debriefs and ways to process everything from culture shock to traumatic situations. We also help community organizations create an action plan to reach out to the migrant workers within their own area. We educate the global community about these injustices. The more knowledge people have of the situations migrant workers experience around the world, the sooner these problems will be solved. We also provide language classes to Indonesians living in Taiwan so that they can better communicate with their employers and those they care for. You too play an essential role in caring for these migrant workers. Please consider giving to Jiwa International to support migrant workers in Taiwan. You can donate to the work at jiwaintl.org/give. Thank you for helping us identify and meet the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of vulnerable migrant workers in Taiwan and around the world.